Package is just leaving a warehouse in China. This package is just leaving a warehouse in China. It's roughly 15 by 20 centimeters in size and about a kilo in weight. The label says dog food, but inside is a fine white powder. It's the core ingredient for one of the deadliest drugs in the world.
It's the precursor sent from China to make the stuff back all the way down in Southern America.
Fentanyl. Cheaper than heroin and about 50 times as strong. An amount this small is enough to kill you. In the US, fentanyl has become the #1 source of death for adults under 50, surpassing cancer, heart disease, and car accidents. How can its ingredients just move freely across continents, shipped, sorted, and delivered like an ordinary online order? Behind it lies a billion-dollar system, run by cartels, fueled by global trade, and enabled by broken regulations. A deadly supply chain hiding in plain sight. This is how fentanyl is trafficked.
xQc.
If you or someone you know is struggling with substance use, help us out there. Visit findtreatment.gov for support in the US or check these platforms to find international resources near you. All links are in the description. Also, this video is partly based on this incredible Reuters investigation. You'll find the link in the description as well.
I don't need that, chat. Thank you for the chat. Thank you.
This is fentanyl.
Thank you for the concern, chat. Thank you and like, guys. I'm all good. All yours. I'm chilling. I appreciate your care though. Thank you, man.
No. It's been used in medicine since the 1960s, mostly as a painkiller. Today, it's also applied as an anesthetic. Its effect is insanely strong. Around 100 times more potent than morphine and 50 times stronger than heroin. It's also extremely addictive. Over the last 15 years, the illegal fentanyl trade in the US has fueled an unprecedented synthetic opioid crisis. And the impact can be seen across the entire country. The biggest problem is that the substance is highly lethal. The number of deaths by fentanyl overdose in the US has exploded over the last few years.
Chat, my main problem with this and these stats is the fact that I think, last time we watched a video about this, they said that most people that OD on this shit didn't even want to take the shit in the first place. It's like, they like put it in and lace it to increase potency of other shit, and they don't even want to do it, which is awful. I know drug deals are already bad, but unintentional by poisoning pretty much is just awful. It's
about 75,000 people died in 2023 alone. In total, fentanyl and other synthetic opioids have killed nearly 500,000 Americans between 1999 and 2022. One reason.
Yeah, and I've been saying it, and nobody agrees with me. If you deal this shit, if your product has some shit like this in it, okay, yo, it's jail for life. It's life. If the United States don't put their foot on the ground, then why would anybody test their shit? Why would anybody? Because if people always say, dude, it's not their fault. You don't know who's lacing it. Dude. When it comes down to wanting a good quality product, trust me, they can do better. Absolutely, okay. And I said this, I'll say it again. The Silk Road black market on like the online market, like dark web shit. The reality is that, yeah, it's drugs, whatever, but people got what they paid for because it was user-based reviews. People would review the products based on their experience with it, and if the product had high reviews and good number of reviews, people just bought it, and they don't die, they don't get fucked up because they bought with it. But this shit is a whole different thing. So don't give me this, oh, dude, we can't control the product. No, you absolutely can. And if you can't do it, then you can't sell. If you do it anyway, jail for life. Jail for 50 years or more. Everybody that's dealing shit that's living with the shit.
This death toll is a process called lacing. Dealers consciously mix fentanyl into other street drugs like heroin to stretch supplies and boost their profits. A little fentanyl goes a long way, but that also means users get hooked faster and are much more likely to overdose, not knowing what they are consuming. For those who traffic it, fentanyl has another major upside. It's synthetic. That means it's incredibly cheap and easy to produce.
What does even that take? 50 years of dealing in a little bit of drugs, what is that logic? The logic is that you're selling something as something else that is killing somebody. And in my opinion, a disregard for safety so bad you're selling it to somebody else is, to some extent, deliberate. and that's deliberately causing harm that causes death, and that's murder. In my opinion, you're dealing murder, and I think you people that deal this fence shit and are killing people and should get life in jail. You sell a small amount, a big amount, I don't give a fuck. You're jail for life.
Use. The business is so profitable that Mexican cartels have massively shifted to fentanyl over the last few years. Instead of cultivating huge poppy fields for heroin, they can simply fabricate the drug in a lab, receiving the base ingredients by mail.
True.
Most of the packages moving down the conveyor belts in China are carrying everyday goods, chargers, clothes, dog food. But hidden among those thousands of boxes are the ingredients for fentanyl. This little box is just one of countless packages going out of China every day. For efficient transportation, shipping companies bundle individual packages into what's known as a master carton. Master cartons are a cornerstone of global trade. Shipping one big box is cheaper and much more efficient than sending numerous small ones to the same destination. The master cartons are then stacked onto pallets with other bulk shipments, and the tiny fentanyl precursor package ends up tucked deep inside. Then the master cartons are often loaded onto a plane and flown to their real destination, the United States. There's something about taking flight, getting that bird's eye view, seeing how small details connect to a much bigger system, start coding or build sharper logical
the video
thinking.
in the chat, guys.
The courses on Brilliant start with the foundations and guide
I wasn't smart, now I'm brilliant because I bought 20 of these products. Much
you step by step toward
I bought
focused
60.
and
I bought 100. I bought the
Global
company.
online shopping has seen a massive boom in recent years. Fentanyl smugglers are riding that wave by sneaking their products into the vast international shipping stream. And they're exploiting one particular loophole in the US.
What's up?
I sent you a meme. Will you look at it?
On your what?
A meme. Will you look at it?
This better be good.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
Sleep!
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
Sleep!
Lightning bolt!
Yes, me yesterday.
Fine.
Good meme. I read that one as a 7 out of 10.
Whoa!
That's a high rating. This is a high rating.
Give me an 8.
It's a 7.3.
3 is my favorite number. You win.
Back in the 1930s,
TikTok,
Washington
it feels
introduced a
harder.
special customs regulation called de minimis. If a package is addressed to a private person and the goods inside are below a certain value, it skips customs entirely. That means there are no duties and almost no detailed checks. Many countries have similar policies. In the European Union, the cutoff is 150 euros. Anything above gets taxed.
I feel like it's a bit more complicated than that, no?
But the US has one of the most generous thresholds in the world. In 2016, the limit was raised from $200 to $800. Before that, some 134 million packages entered the country annually through this streamlined system.
Wait, really?
That number has jumped to nearly 1.4 billion units in 2024. This spike is also tied to the overall boom in global trade. But still, about 90% of all goods coming into the US are duty-free de minimis imports. Until April 2025, most of these packages came from China, usually by air.
Yeah.
Our box has had a long flight and finally touches down
I
at
don't guess that. This is people buying stuff for like a resale and for their businesses or whatever to make stuff or whatever.
LAX.
Like little stuff like.
Its first stop in
42
America
months.
is a special
Welcome
customs
to jungle,
warehouse.
maybe.
Examining every
xQc
package that comes through here would be impossible. So customs officers rely on spot checks. Specially trained dogs sniff out selected packages for fentanyl precursors. Sometimes it's the package's weight that raises suspicion. If it doesn't jibe with its description, the box gets flagged and pulled out for inspection. Flagged packages are scanned by high-tech
That's
machines, open
reliable.
for manual inspection, and sometimes even sent to an on-site chemical lab. And in some cases, custom officers will also attach electronic trackers to suspicious boxes to follow their trail. But given the sheer volume of packages coming in, only a tiny fraction ever gets checked. Most of them are simply waved through, including our package. It's just been cleared for the next leg of the trip, which means it has now officially entered the country. The master carton is unpacked at a distribution center. The smaller parcels are sorted by destination. The next leg of transport is handled by one of the regular US delivery firms. Our package still has a long road ahead. Its next stop is Mexico. The vast majority
but the margins are pretty high, right? And they can send the package to nowhere, basically going to nowhere, like some drop house or some shit like that. I'm sure they have a system in place. It doesn't even matter if they catch fucking half this shit, right? As long as they didn't have mix it in, it doesn't even matter.
of illicit fentanyl is manufactured here. It's first shipped to a US address near the Mexican border. That's when a new link in the supply chain takes over to handle the border crossing. The address is a private home. The tenant is an elderly man. Some products can't be shipped to Mexico directly. This is where the man comes in. He's offering a personal cross-border delivery to make some extra money, a common side hustle in the border region. People in Mexico can have their packages shipped to his US address. Then he drives them over in his private car. Now he's on his way to the border with a couple of boxes in the trunk. The package from China is one of them.
I feel like it's probably more likely they find two different things. One, a guy, and two, like some drop house. I'm sure there's this billion addresses that are like abandoned, whatever, and they just drop shit off and then they go pick it up later. Like, and they can also assess like a risk, whatever, by checking the packages, whatever, and checking the houses and monitoring them. It's a lot more efficient.
The border works similar to the airport. Small boxes are rarely checked. The cartels are counting on that. The man in the car looks harmless. He doesn't even know what's in our package. He's waved through. The next stop is a distribution center in the Mexican state of Sinaloa. Local freight carriers will forward the packages to the addresses supplied by their Mexican customers. And so our package reaches its final destination, a secret drug lab. This is where it's opened for the first time. The Sinaloa cartel is one of the most powerful and violent criminal organizations in the world.
Chat,
with the
I gotta pause here, chat, because we watched another documentary that said that actually it's not even, they don't even have to send it illegally like that. The companies that were sending it from China or whatever, right? They were supposed to be like regulated and all that, and the China government doesn't like enforce it or whatever, and they give them like subsidies and shit like that. Is that not true? Yes, yeah, so if you saw a video that was saying all that.
Fentanyl boom in full swing, they too have shifted away from...
Like, they don't get the repercussions they should be getting for sending over the precursor and the ingredient that they need, like, to make the thing.
Heroin production and gone all in on fentanyl. Inside this old and nondescript house, two teenagers are working in a makeshift lab. They're cooking fentanyl. They're not trained chemists. Someone just gave them a step-by-step tutorial. They open the package containing the powder from China and start prepping a new batch. It's complete routine. The process is always the same. Making fentanyl is almost as easy as baking cake. You don't need much gear either. Our 1 kilo package yields up to 50,000 doses of fentanyl. Now the finished drug heads back to the US. It can cross the border in all kinds of ways. Attached to or even carried inside the bodies of so-called drug mules, or disguised among regular cargo on some ordinary delivery van. Smugglers have hidden fentanyl pills in candy bags, sewn them into clothing, and in some cases, drugs are even implanted into pets. They're simply betting on the fact that it's impossible for customs to check every person or item that crosses the border. More often than not, it's US citizens who drive the drugs across the border in their private cars. Sometimes they come up with clever hidden compartments like this one. The car is just minutes away from crossing. The driver can already see the custom officers up ahead, with drug-sniffing dogs working car to car.
Chat, if the fucking package is fully vacuum sealed, and let's say it got the outside is like sanded so they didn't have any residue, can dogs smell through like fully vacuum sealed intact package?
He starts to get nervous, but just as they're coming toward him, the agents pull away. The dog needs a break. The stash in his car goes undetected. The driver exhales. And just like that, more fentanyl made it into the US. In 2024 alone, nearly 10 tons of the drug were seized along the US-Mexico border. But the amount that actually made it through is by all likelihood much higher. The fentanyl crisis has also become a geopolitical flashpoint. The US accuses China of fueling the epidemic on purpose. Beijing, for its part, claims to have cracked down on the fentanyl trade years ago. The real problem lies in controlling the precursors. They are much harder to regulate. Chemical suppliers in China are using false return labels and deceptive packaging to conceal their illegal business with fentanyl precursors. Washington has even talked about a new opium war. In April 2025, President Trump signed an executive order to eliminate duty-free de minimis imports from China and Hong Kong. He cited the ongoing health emergency posed by fentanyl trafficking as one of the reasons for the high tariffs on Chinese goods. China denies the accusations. Beijing says the crisis is completely made in the US and therefore the sole responsibility of the American government. Meanwhile, Trump has also accused Mexico of not doing enough to crack down on the drug cartels. Curbing the international fentanyl trade is...
Chat, just a hypothesis. If these guys make the precursor, okay, and are willing to sell it overseas to do all that, or let's say, right, I'm just playing the game here. It means that they could probably also just sell locally, probably even easier, right? Well, so why don't they have an epidemic going on if they make their own shit and they sell it on their own land, they're doing their own thing? I mean, are people just not interested in getting the drug? Are people just not smoking it? Are people just not using the product? Tougher laws. Yeah, but every time I say this, people say, dude, tougher laws and more jail time. It doesn't decrease crime or whatever. I'm telling you that it does. I'm telling you. If you tell people, if you deal fent and you go to jail for life or you die, I mean, let's be honest, nobody does it. Less people does it.
extremely difficult.
It's, guys, in my opinion, as the government overseeing this with how many deaths people are getting, desperate times, desperate measures. I mean, buddy, like, this is insane. You can't have your population die of some fucking bullshit. It's crazy.
The drug has long made its way beyond North America and reached places like Europe. Probes in several German cities have shown that fentanyl is already being mixed into street heroin. Getting off fentanyl without medical support is extremely hard, if not almost impossible. And as long as it can be produced and trafficked so easily, the business will keep booming.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you kind of brought up the topic, because even though Trump says a lot of dog shit, I actually did look at it last time. We did a little bit of research on that, and we looked, and there was at least a little bit, definitely, of some validity to the argument that they could do a lot better to crack down on the people that are supplying the precursor, right? And monitor and enforce better, but that didn't seem to be the case. It just wasn't very effective from what I saw, but maybe I was completely wrong about it. Who knows?
6 months ago, we came into office and inherited the worst drug crisis in American history by far. They did nothing. For 4 long years, Joe Biden surrendered our borders to the most evil and vicious traffickers, networks, and everything else on the planet Earth, allowing foreign drug cartels to carve out a massive footprint on American soil. We were doing nothing. This open borders nightmare flooded our country with fentanyl and with people that shouldn't be here, some of the worst people on earth. And illicit drugs decimated American communities and left us with the largest law enforcement challenge in our country's history, and hopefully will always be the largest. I can't imagine anything being worse. They allowed millions and millions of criminals into our country, 11,888 murders, 50% of whom murdered more than one person. On day one of the Trump administration, we declared an all-out war on the dealers, smugglers, traffickers, and cartels. Within moments of taking office, I deployed the U.S. military to our border and unleashed the patriots of ICE and border.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of scapegoating here as well, though. Like, it's really hard to blame like some fucking drug, this whatever. But there's a massive like terrible culture and problem with fucking drugs and all that. Bro, you can't just blame that. Oh, the immigrants, buddy. Look from within. Like, the population is fucking ill. Like, just look at what makes people use drugs, what makes them addicted, like the culture around it. It's a big problem, buddy. You need to look inwards and fix the problem. And if it is that as well, I mean, fix both. They can't just offload everything onto one thing and they think it's gonna fix it. It's gonna all fix it all. Like
Patrol to defend our country from an invasion. This was an invasion. This wasn't people coming in. This was an invasion of our country, allowed to happen by people either that didn't care or were just stupid people. Stupid people. I also designated the Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And within a few short weeks, believe it or not, if you remember, now we've even surpassed that, but we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. And last month, we had the lowest number of illegal border crossings ever recorded. We had in June, the number was actually 0. Now, even I don't believe that, but we're going to take it. How can you go from hundreds of thousands to 0? But that's what they say. And these are very liberal people that do the recording, so I think we're going to have to take it. But the number was 0 in June. Can't get much better than that, right? On day one, I signed executive orders to
I'm saying
create...
that didn't really have anything to do with what I said earlier, but yeah.